Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Barry Silver. This is Cantor Carol Garrett. You're hearing this introduction if you've been here for a while for the second time because I got a false alarm. I thought I was starting the service about 5 minutes ago. So this is going to be like deja vu.
Hi.
All over again. And we are here.
And if you just came in, then it's the first time for you.
That's true. We are here with Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor. It means generation, generation. We're also here courtesy of Grand Villa of Delray West because it takes a villa to have a Shabbat service. And we're joining forces in order to bring you Shabbat. We approach Judaism from a rational way. And we are not afraid of controversy or differing views. So if you think that anything I say is not consistent with science and reason, or is not rational in some way, feel free to join in. Or if you'd like to add a thought or concept, you're welcome to do so. We are not offended by contrary views. We love differences of opinion. We also are celebrating something called reproductive Shabbat. We're talking about reproductive freedom this Shabbat in this synagogue and at synagogues throughout the country because the Torah reading happens to have a passage that has a lot to do with reproductive freedom and abortion rights. So we'll be talking about that. And we're also here with new Member SHABBAT. And I have a new feature. We meet at Zimmy's beforehand. So I bought 2 pizzas, which are sitting in the back right now. And if all goes according to plan, by the time of the oneg, they'll be reheated and ready to go. So if you stay for the whole service and make it to the oneg, you might be able to get one of those slices of cheese pizza. We're going to start now with a beautiful song called How Beautiful Today Is, or in Hebrew, Ma Yafeh Hayom.
And please, if you haven't already, if you would silence your cell phones. Thank you. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom.
It's been said that if you speak a second language, you acquire a second soul. And so we use the language of Hebrew in order to capture the soul of Judaism and unite Jews throughout all time, throughout all lands and spaces. If you don't know Hebrew, don't worry about it. We'll translate it for you, and I might even give you a little bit of the etymology so that you understand what the words actually mean. And we also believe that it's good to unite all the different cultures. Especially my job, I believe, as a rabbi, is to focus especially on uniting Jews and Muslims. Islam is the closest religion to Judaism. Arabic is a very close language to Hebrew. We are both Semitic, share much in common. We both eat falafel, and we should get along. So I translated, through the help of my friend Imam Zahir Badorani, Hine Matov into Arabic. This is probably the only place in the world where you will hear Hine Matov in Arabic, as well as Spanish and French. If you speak those languages, is it going to be up on the screen, Sharon? If you speak those languages, you're welcome to join us. If you don't, you can try to read it off the screen, but your pronunciation will probably be lousy. But we don't care. As long as you want to sing with us, it's all good.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבר אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים ידדי דדי דדי. הנה מה טוב ומנעים.
Who recognizes that language? What is it? Now Arabic. Comme roi jaillit doit mofid, anaisha ichwatan wachad. Comme roi jaillit doit mofid, anaisha ichwatan wachad. Que agradable es unirse en paz, celebrando como hermanos, comme merveilleux et magnifique, célébrer comme frères ensemble. Now, in order to have the lighting of the Shabbat candles, because this is new member Shabbat, we're calling upon some new members, and so we're calling upon Ruth Nodif. Is she here today? Yes, she is. Where is she hiding? You're doing the candle lighting.
אשר קדשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
As Ruth has demonstrated, the light of reason and love sometimes takes a little while to get kindled, but with persistence it works. Bill and Donna Field are not new members. They've been with us for quite a while, and we appreciate their service to Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor. There you go.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Notice I made him do it first.
Very good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen. So, is this on?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
You still have to hold it close.
All right. Kiddush, which means sanctification, is a way for Jews to proclaim the uniqueness of the Shabbat. Reciting or hearing the Shabbat Kiddush is an obligation so that we are able to fulfill the need to remember Shabbat. Just as honey is used on Rosh Hashanah to symbolize a sweet new year, sweet wine has long been used to make Shabbat just a little bit sweeter. We therefore raised the cup already and Thanksgiving, and we recited the blessing over the wine as we were supposed to do.
Some more wine. Take it.
Amen.
You can tell I had some earlier.
Amen.
All right. Thank you very much for leading us in the Kiddush. And now is the time that we're going to recognize the new members. And if you are a new member, we're going to recognize you by Zoom. And you're also welcome to come on up to the front here. And if you like, you can share a few words. The new members that we're recognizing are Arlene Chapnick, Rhonda Cohen, Jeannie and Martin Fennick, Miriam Salazar and Philip Heyman, Ann Kritzer, Renato Conaningo, Ruth Nodif, Judith Price, Ellen Salkin, Laurie Schloff, Jenny Scott, Rochelle Stern, Carol Weller,
Look on the screen.
and Jacqueline, Chris, and Helix Moscow. And we have on the screen here some of the new members. You can check them out right here, just so you know that they really do exist.
Welcome.
Nice to see you. And we're going to have a message from Jenny Scott read for us by our Cantor Carol Garrett.
Okay, this is a letter from one of our new members, Ginny Scott. It is so exciting to be a new member of this congregation, and I'm so grateful that I was able to become a member, even though from afar. Rabbi Silver, I first learned of this congregation when I heard you speak on Free Speech TV on women's rights, and was so inspired by your comments that I pursued learning more about the congregation. This led me to Zoom for several Shabbat services and several Tuesday evening discussions. Inspirational Judaism and the inclusion of science, along with accepting all people, whatever their beliefs, cemented my decision to become a party of this community. The non-traditional approach just fits into my own beliefs, and I finally feel I have found a home in Judaism for the first time. Actually, I look forward to the services, and this is a breath of fresh air for me. So without being redundant, I also wish to thank Sharon for her many contacts with me and making me feel so welcome. Makes me want to move back to Florida. Well, maybe. I wish everyone health, happiness, and peace and harmony, particularly in these difficult times. Best, Ginny Scott. And we also have Ruth, and I don't know if Ruth would like to say a few words and come up for a blessing for a new member.
Ginny is in Indiana.
Ginny's in Indiana.
Okay, so we do have,
Is there anybody else that's a new member in the audience that would like to join us up front? Besides the people that are up front on stage, on screen. Hi, Ann. I see Ann. Who else do I see there? Hi, you all.
Ruth, you want to say a few words?
Yes, I do.
Over here.
Arlene. Hi, Arlene. And who else is there?
We have Miriam and Philip.
Miriam and Philip. Hi, Miriam and Philip.
Right lower.
Nice to see you.
And we have more people, but they were sick today.
Well,
Well.
it's wonderful to belong to a congregation with whom I share the same values and love and peace and accepting everybody for their own worth, and love the cantor's voice and its choice of songs. It's a musical congregation, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. And we're going to say a blessing for you and for everybody else.
Not yet.
If you,
Not yet. We're very happy to have you here as well. Okay, we'll do the blessing now. This is for all the new members. Go right ahead.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yismarecha.
May you be blessed and preserved with good health and happiness.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'kuneka.
May the light of love and of reason shine upon you always.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May be lifted up by the power of love.
V'yasem lecha shalom.
To become a source of peace and joy, and to bring out the best version of yourself that you and this world have ever seen. Thank you so much. Welcome to Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor. It is a pleasure to have you. We also have a song called Mazel Tov and Siman Tov. Means congratulations and good luck, literally.
Ruth, are you going to play along with us? Okay, I'm going to wait for her to get to the piano. But thank you all, and I'm so grateful to have you join us.
Yeah, we're really lucky to have Ruth, and we're also lucky to have Howard in the back. If you'd like to come forward and help drum up some support for our service, you're welcome to come and join us as well.
Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov and siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov and siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov and siman tov. Yelanu. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov and siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov and siman tov. Siman tov u'mazel tov u'mazel tov and siman tov. Yehelanu. 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 Ve'akol Yisrael. Yehelanu.
Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael.
Clap. Simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, and simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, and simin tov, mazel tov, and simin tov, Yehelanu.
All right. Howard comes all the way from the drum circle, and my brother Josh also is one of the dancers at the drum circle. If you go there every Wednesday night around 6:30, you'll see some wild and crazy people playing drums, dancing around, and they brought some of their spirit and energy here to L'Dor Va-Dor. I give my brother free rein if he feels the urge to come up and dance around a little bit. Howard's free to do his thing on the drums. We're lucky to have him as well. Ruth has loads of experience, a lifetime of experience on the piano and also concerts and Jewish music. We're lucky to have them all. We're going to now sing a song called I'm a Believer. I thought God was only true in fairy tales and made up stories from some ancient text. They said God was great, but I could not relate. The whole idea just made me feel perplexed. Then I saw God's face. Now I'm a believer. I feel God's grace in my heart and my mind. I found love. Ooh, I'm a believer and a conceiver of the divine. I thought God was something quite mysterious. You couldn't understand him if you tried. But then I looked around, and miracles abound, and this power surges from inside. Now I see God's face throughout the cosmos, creative force above right here. It could be no clearer when I look in the mirror. In me and you, God appears. Now I see God's face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. Now that love, religion, reason are so pleasing when aligned. I thought God was only true in fairy tales and made up stories from some ancient text. But then I looked around, and miracles abound, and this power surges from inside. Now I see God's face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. Now that love, ooh, religion and reason are so pleasing when aligned. My friends, many people doubt God. Many Jews are atheists or agnostics. They say there is no supernatural being. But there is nobody who can doubt the creative power that's within all of us. There is nobody who can doubt that there is something beyond us. There is nobody who can doubt that this creative power is within all. It unites all. It transcends all. It gives life meaning. It's wondrous, it's awesome, and it's real. And you don't need to make it up. You can verify it by science, by your own eyes, and by your own bodies. And so we sing this song, I'm a Believer, in order to indicate that we no longer have to doubt this creative process. If we explain it rationally, we can all know it and believe it. Now we're going to engage in some prayers,
And Ruth, if you want to join us on the piano again.
in which we are going to summon that creative power, not external, not a power outside of us, this power that's within us and is also in everything else. Let us hearken to that power within us that has the power to make our lives holy and to allow us to be a source of love and peace as we continue with the Borei Yom V'Layla. This is a song that our Cantor Carol Garrett has created.
Borei Yom V'Layla Golelo Mipnei Choshech Borei Yom V'Layla V'Choshech Mipnei Or Borei Yom V'Layla Golelo Mipnei Choshech Borei Yom V'Layla V'Choshech Mipnei Or Borei Yom
Creator of day and
V'Layla
night,
Golelo Mipnei Choshech
revealer of light before darkness.
Borei Yom V'Layla V'Choshech Mipnei Or.
We now continue reading responsively. Help us to feel peaceful this new Shabbat.
After noise, we seek quiet. After crowds of indifferent strangers, we seek to touch those we love.
After concentration on work and responsibility, we seek freedom to listen to our inward selves.
We open our eyes to the hidden beauties and the infinite possibilities in the world.
We break open the gates of goodness and kindness in ourselves and in others. We continue singing the praise of creation with the Baruch Hu. If you'd like, please stand.
In F. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Let us exalt and celebrate the wonder, the beauty, the majesty of the creative power that gave rise to everything, including us. And let us celebrate the oneness of this power with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Listen, O Israel, to the mighty voice within. Hear the echo of your famous song. Celebrate life as the miracle we share. Feel the deep power. Know our God is one. Please be seated. And now we continue with the hope that this creation that we see before us will be approached by us in a spirit of love. When we walk by the way, when we rise up and lie down, and at all times, the V'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
The next song tells us that we should observe the Sabbath in order to remember creation. The song says that it took place in 6 days. It got the time frame a little bit off. It's actually billions of years, but we still celebrate creation as a magnificent, wondrous event that is still going on with us. And I'm also going to let our cantor know that in the past at L'Dor Va-Dor, before we read the Torah, we used to have some lively Torah music, and the Torah would be marched around and everybody would come near the Torah. Because of COVID, we've discontinued that. However, COVID-19 is no match for COVID-18. COVID means respect, and 18 is life, a respect and love for life. So I have decided I'm going to revive that. We're going to march this Torah around the sanctuary. Everybody can get close to the Torah. I'm going to ask the cantor to play some lively music, made even more lively with some beautiful drums and piano. And I'm going to ask my brother Josh to come up and dance a little bit, as they used to do in the old days. When we celebrated, there's always dancing, so we're going to do that. I'm just giving you a little warning. You can figure out what songs. I'll leave it to Cantor Garrett. Yeah, that's one of them, but not yet. Not yet. I'm just giving you a heads up. All right? We're going to do it soon. But right now, we're going to do Vishamru, right?
Yeah.
We're going to do Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. בני ובן, בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת שבים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת בנפש, שבת בנפש, שבת בנפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם.
On the seventh day, God rested. He was getting tired. Imagine if he didn't get tired and he kept going for another few days. Imagine what the world would have been like then. But in 6 days, he did a pretty good job. Now we're going to continue with the Avot Imahot. This gives thanks to our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors, and a long, long line of human beings over hundreds of thousands of years who contributed mightily so that we could go from the cave and stone tools and bear skins to flying to the moon. We were born into a world of incredible wonders and revelations, and we owe it all to our predecessors, and we give thanks especially also to our Jewish predecessors who preserved this incredible heritage that believes that this world can be one day perfected and that we can be instrumental in that. Please stand if you'd like. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Socha, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanocha El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imahot, u'Mevi Geula Livnei Bneihem Leman Shemo B'Ahava. Melech Hoser u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. We give thanks for all the miracles that preserve life and the shield in the atmosphere and the defenses in our bodies that allow us to fight off disease. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh u'Kadoshim b'chol yom ya'alucha sela. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Yes, indeed, this creative force that gives rise to everything. It is sacred and it is holy, and we are part of it. Please be seated. We continue now, as we do on Shabbat. We celebrate creation, and we also celebrate peace. Shalom Rav.
You have it there. Make of us a house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people. In wholeness and in love. Make of us a house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people. In wholeness and in love. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adom lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adom lecho hashalom. Lecho hashalom. Make of us a house for all people. Gather us in hope for all people. Surround us in peace for all people. In wholeness and in love. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
There was once a hypochondriac who went to the doctor and he said, "Doc, how am I doing?" The doctor said, "You look terrible." The hypochondriac said, "You're just saying that to make me feel good." My friends, we should feel pretty good if we're able to have a modicum of health, if we can come here and celebrate, whether on our own accord or with a walker, a cane, a wheelchair, if we're able to get out, if we're able to see what's going on and hear and enjoy, if we have a mind that can operate better than the greatest supercomputer and can figure things out and learn and enjoy a TV show or a conversation with others or read a book, let us spend a few moments in silent meditation, no matter what condition we're in health-wise, and celebrate the miracle and the wonders of the human body and all we're able to do. Let us not dwell on our limitations. Let us focus on how amazing it is every day of life and all the potential that we have within us. Let us meditate on that. And some people say, Rabbi, where's the proof, the evidence that Judaism does any good? It's in science, my friends. Mindfulness, reflecting on your life, appreciating what you have, makes us happy. Reflecting on how we can do better makes us fulfilled. Miyashir, miyismach b'chelko. Who is wealthy? He who is content with his lot. We have a lot to be content with. Let us celebrate and contemplate that in a few moments of silent meditation. We now read the names of those who are ailing. Joel Brusso, Suzanne Bernstein, Laura Gallagher, Sherry Glass, Nadine Herbst, Stephen Heyman, Carol Kahn, Gary Klein, Ann Kritzer, Dr. Sudhir Nair, Laura Perlman Devens, Ira Phillips, Ben Pilch, Vivian Cronin, Bernie Rosen, Libby Rubin, Laura Santa Cruz, Rana Savage, Harvey Shearer, Victor Siegel, Jack Silvers, Miriam Sivek, Fred Spieloff, Jacob Viner, Douglas Volin, Jordan Volin, and Naomi Volin, Carol Wilkinson and Sheila Winston, and a whole bunch of people in Turkey and Syria and Ukraine and Iran and so many other places. And are there any other names that people would like to share with us? Emily?
Margie Goldman Spadina and Sam Stockhammer.
Thanks. Yes?
Marty Mayborn and Lee Goodman.
Yes, in the back.
Arlene Potter.
Thank you. Yes?
Couple.
Jay Gabriel.
Thank you. Yes?
Right here, you had a hand.
Do we?
Oh, she put it down. Oh, well.
Josh? Yes.
Raquel Welch.
She passed away.
I guess he's too late with that one. Okay, anybody else? Maybe in the next world. Anybody else? Thank you very much. We hope a refuah shlema, complete restoration, good health. Just as our ancestors were able to get through some pretty tough situations, we hope those who are ailing will also be similarly strengthened by that healing power within us. And we're going to continue now with the MISHPATIM.
Different one. Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. Mishaberach imotenu, Sarah Rivka Leah Rachel. May the source that blessed our mothers, may the source that blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of healing. Bless us with the power of hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the visions for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mishaberach avotenu, Mishaberach imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
We're going to continue with the Torah reading, one of the greatest passages in the Torah, MISHPATIM. Before that, we have responsive reading. We are very thankful for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself and its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses,
and for the excellence of the Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days.
We now have another song that I've adulterated. It's called If You Would Read the Torah.
Okay.
If you would read the Torah, what a tale its words would tell about the old-time heroes in the land of Israel. And when the world grows dark, we provide a spark to help the world to see our shared humanity. And we know when things go wrong, we must stay strong and sing our song of harmony. If you would read the portents and the writing on the wall, we could begin to fathom the rise of mankind and its fall. When the Jews are cursed, it brings out the worst in our society, and it leads to tyranny. But in those lands where Jews are blessed, it brings out the best and leads to liberty. Injustice here or injustice there is injustice everywhere, as taught by Dr. King. And if you read each sacred line, then you may find that love empowers everything, and love's power is so real. I I always hoped that I would feel this way, and I'm glad to say that I finally get it. Hate is wrong, so let's get along with a brand new song, and let's watch each other's back. Now, for the first time in L'Dor Va-Dor in, I don't know, a couple of years maybe, we're going to revive the tradition of having the Torah go around. I'm going to have the Cantor, Ruth, and Howard play some lively music. My brother, if he feels so inclined, and I've never seen him decline, but if he does, he can come up and do a little dancing, and maybe one of our new members can come up and carry the Torah all the way around to come near everybody. Anybody want to volunteer to do that, to carry the Torah around? Do we have a volunteer?
Somebody come up to carry the Torah, please. Alan, why don't you come? Oh, Doctor. Okay, Doctor, come on up.
Come on up.
Anyone else want to come up and dance?
Ruth, you're up. I'll follow you.
Asa alihinu kiva charashnu v'gam zaranu kiva charashnu v'gam zaranu aval lo katsanu aval lo katsanu lo katsanu. Go ahead, Carol. Asa alinu, asa alinu, asa alinu, asa alinu, asa alinu. Kiva charashnu v'gam zaranu, kiva charashnu v'gam zaranu, aval lo katsanu, aval lo katsanu. How about
Torah, 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 zivu lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 zivu lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 zivu lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 zivu lanu Moshe. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai v'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai v'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai v'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael.
in record time, he is bringing the Torah back.
David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai v'Kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai v'Kayam. Al Shlosha
Abraham ben Gedaliah,
Devarim.
Toda Rabah.
Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Haolam, Haolam, Vahed. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Haolam, Haolam, Amen.
All right. That's as much energy as I've seen here at Grandville in a long time. All right, this place is going to be known as the Rockin' Shabbat place in Palm Beach County. This is great. It's a pleasure to see all this positive energy and all of this good music. We're reading now from the book of Exodus, but before that, I must do a blessing. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai hamavarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten
Noten
haTorah.
haTorah. Amen.
My dad used to say about a lot of the Torah passages, especially this one, if this was the only passage, the only thing we had in all of Jewish history, and all of the other books of the Bible and all of the other writings were gone, this would tell us, this passage here would tell us what it means to be Jewish. Yes, this has some of the highest, loftiest ideals ever. And I believe it far surpasses the top 10. The 10 Commandments. It's called MISHPATIM. I'm going to read you just a little sampling of it with my trusty yad, my hand. Lo tisa shema shav al teset yadecha im rasha lihiyot ed Hamas. Do not take the name of the Lord in vain. In other words, don't swear falsely, and don't follow after a multitude to do evil. Now, you're going to think I'm making this up, but I'll read it for you. Yadecha is your hand. Al tisa yadecha, your hand. Don't lift up your hand. Im rasha. Rasha, or in Ashkenazic Hebrew, Russia, means evil. Isn't that interesting? Russia. In the Torah, means evil. I'm not making it up. It's right here. Im rasha. And then it says, Lihiyot ed Hamas. To be, ed is a witness. Hamas is someone who stirs up violence and chaos and corruption. And the word for that is Hamas. Have you heard of Hamas before? I'm not making this up either. Lo tihiyeh acharei rabim l'ra'ot v'lo ta'aneh arov lintot. Do not follow after a multitude in order to do evil, and do not be swayed by the majority if they are going in the wrong direction. How many times, my friend, in a society do we see society moving in the wrong direction? Everybody's moving with it. It happens all the time. This passage is telling us, don't follow the majority to do evil. So many times we hear, well, most people believe that. I guess it can't be wrong. Most people are doing this. I guess it can't be so bad. The Torah is saying, we answer to a higher authority, a Hebrew national named Moses. V'dal lo tedar b'livu. V'lo ta'aneh achav lintot acharei rabim. Do not favor the wealthy or the poor. Be objective in your adjudications. Ki tifga shor oivacha o chamohu ta'ot hashev tashivu lo. If you see the ox or the animal of your enemy and he's gone astray and you're thinking, good, I hope he runs away and my enemy will be deprived. It says, return the animal to him. כי תראה חמור, שונאך, חובץ תחת מסעו, וחדלת מעזוב לו, עזוב תעזוב עמו. If you see an animal suffering under the burden, and it's the animal that belongs to your enemy, and you're thinking, good, let him suffer, it says that you should help him, and you should return the animal and help the animal to be unburdened. Lo tateh mishpat oivenecha b'livo. Don't pervert justice. Midavar sheker tirchak. Stay far away from lies, and especially if they're told by people who call themselves reporters, like people who deceive people, like the animal, the fox that you're aware of. If they're telling lies, stay far away from them. They're bad news. V'shochad lo tikach, ki hashochad ya'aver pikachim v'yisalef divrei tzadikim. Do not take a bribe, or another way of saying a campaign contribution, because the bribe will twist the words of the righteous and pervert the words of the most perspicacious. Al taharog ki lo atzdik rasha. Do not slay the innocent for I shall not forgive that. V'ger lo tilchatz atem yadatem et nefesh hager ki gerim heyitem be'eretz Mitzrayim. Do not oppress the stranger, or another way of translating it, a better way perhaps, is the immigrant. Don't oppress the immigrant, the stranger, the one who has a different religion or a different background, because you yourselves know the plight of the stranger, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Don't let the oppression that the Jews have faced and the persecution make you bitter. Let it make you better able to sympathize, better able to understand, and better able to provide for their relief. The blessing after the Torah, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Well, my friends, we got a lot going on in the news these days, especially this balloon that's flying overhead. America says, you're spying on us. And President Xi of China says, we're not spying. It's just a case of he said, she said. What can you do? Actually, we believe that China is probably just full of hot air in their denials, but we do have to try to get along with everybody, and so we're trying to figure out a way of peacefully resolving this issue. The Torah is all about judgments and justice in this passage. This passage is called MISHPATIM, judgments. Many people think we shouldn't judge others. That would be wrong. Jews don't believe that way. Our most significant day of judgment. Our most significant passage, MISHPATIM. If you don't form judgments, what are we? If we don't separate, well, that's right and that's wrong. That's true and that's false. That's a loving thing to do. That's harmful. If we can't separate out the good from the bad, then there is no morality. Yet we hear it said all the time that we shouldn't judge others. I was at an interfaith conference yesterday, led by a renowned scholar at a university who traveled the world in order to determine how can religions get along. And his first thing was, don't judge any other religions. That would be a terrible thing to do. He did say to point out sources of conflict wherever you find it. Afterwards, I asked, if we can't cite anything wrong in any other religion or political realm, how do we point out sources of hate and conflict? How do we do that if it arises in other areas? I received no response, and I don't think I will. Suggesting that we shouldn't judge bad from good or point out things that are dangerous and try to preserve a world of peace would be like saying that we should try to wipe out lung cancer but never mention cigarettes. And if you do, don't judge them. No, no, no. This is a fool's errand. MISHPATIM is telling us that we must judge. We also have something else very significant in this passage. This is the passage, Exodus 20:21, that I didn't read for you, that says, if two men are struggling and one of them injures a woman bystander, the one responsible pays a fine. Of course, it's kind of archaic. He pays the fine not to the woman's husband. Well, it's a step in the right direction. It says if the woman dies, then you pay with your life. And it says in Hebrew, nefesh tachat nefesh, a life for a life. And then it says if she's pregnant and miscarries, then he pays a fine. It just said nefesh tachat nefesh, a life for a life, but if she miscarries, it's a fine. What does that tell us? It tells us that the fetus is not a life. There's no doubt about it. All these people who say that they believe in the Bible, have they ever read it? These people who are saying they're opposed to abortion, there is no prohibition against abortion in the Bible, Jewish or Christian. If you'll pardon the expression, it's a pregnant silence. The prohibition doesn't exist. And the thought that life begins at conception based on the Bible is a misconception. According to the Bible, it begins at birth, and that's why Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor has filed a lawsuit against the governor, against the state of Florida, because this law criminalizes the practice of Judaism. And we will not abide that. That is a form of anti-Semitism. When you tell Jewish people you can't practice your religion, we're going to tell you what your laws will be. And by the way, they're going to be fundamentalist Christian laws or Catholic laws. We're going to tell you how you practice your religion. That is anti-Semitic. And we will fight back. What is true about this whole discussion, which is quite miraculous, is 3 words that I want to share with you. Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. You ever heard that before? No. It's a mouthful. Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Here's what it means. According to Darwin, whose birthday we just celebrated, and evidence which has been confirmed overwhelmingly, there's more evidence for evolution than there is that the Civil War took place. All right, or that World War II happened, okay? There's overwhelming evidence. According to all the evidence, we got here by an incredible chain of wondrous occurrences that occurred on this planet when life emerged out of non-life and then formed a cell and then reproduced and then diversified and then complexified and then led to all types of creatures, including our ancestors, who somehow were able to overcome their deficits of not being able to run as fast as the other animals and not being as strong and not having sharp teeth. They had to use their minds in order to develop intelligence to survive. Somehow they came across over hundreds of thousands of years and evolved into us. This is an incredible, miraculous series of events, one which would probably never occur again on this planet or perhaps any other, and we should celebrate that. But here's the amazing thing about this phrase. That's called phylogeny. Phylogeny is the evolution from one species to another. Ontogeny is the development of the cell in the womb. The cell starts out as each one of us started out as a single cell, just like life on Earth started as an amoeba. And then if you look at the womb, you'll see that it also is in water. And in the cell, in the womb, we also have gills, and we're breathing in water. And we're surrounded in water like we were originally. Life emerged out of water. Then the gills give way, and they become lungs. And then we look like a fish, and then a salamander, and then we have a tail, and then the tail disappears, and then we grow fur, and then the fur disappears, and then we look like a primate, and then our brain develops very rapidly, so rapidly that that a woman's body can't accommodate it. That's why we give birth, women do, in such pain and difficulty, which is why we should give them a break and let them decide if they want to undergo that. And other animals, the birth process is not so difficult, because the brain develops so quickly so that we can survive. So what's amazing is that the process of evolution, which occurred over billions of years, occurs within each one of us, all over again. And it's captured in the phrase by John Haldane. A woman said to him, he was a great scientist, and he was a polyglot, he knew everything. She said, "I don't believe that evolution happened. You want me to believe that a single cell evolved into a human being?" He said, "Why don't you believe it? You did it yourself. And it only took you 9 months." Okay, so the proof of it is right there in our own bodies. And so we celebrate on this day the wonder of evolution, the wonder of the fact that we have evolved incredible capacities that allow us to enjoy life, to contemplate life, and to improve our lives. Darwin said that to kill an error is even better than to discover a new truth. And the error of biblical creation has now been laid to rest, or it should for most of us. So let us celebrate Darwin. Let us celebrate the fact that we've now learned where we came from, and let us celebrate this. The reason why human beings have emerged in such a spectacular way is because we improved gradually over time. Let us ask ourselves, do we do that? Are we improving over time? Or are we the same way now as we were 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago? If we continue to evolve, there's no stopping us. As my father used to say, the greatest miracle is that we do not have to be tomorrow the person we are today if we use all the potential implanted within us by God. And I don't think my father would mind if I allowed his statement to evolve in the next generation to say, the greatest miracle is that we don't have to be today the person we were yesterday if we use all the potential that's been placed in us through a multi-billion-year process of evolution, which allowed us to come all types of insurmountable odds and allow us now to be able to overcome the problems of this world. Let us see how we can improve every single day. Shabbat Shalom.
Amen.
We now have Sim Shalom.
Sim Shalom Tova Uracha Chen v'chesed v'rachamim Sim Shalom Tova Uracha Chen v'chesed v'rachamim Grant us peace, welfare and blessings, grace and loving kindness, mercy unto all Israel, the people of God. Please bless us. Alleluia, Kol Yisrael. Amecha. Alleluia, Kol Yisrael. Amecha. Sim Shalom Tova Uracha Chen v'chesed v'rachamim Sim Shalom Tova Uracha Chen v'chesed v'rachamim.
Let us stand for the Kaddish. Before we read the Kaddish, we mention the names of those who have recently been summoned from us: Jeff Beck, Louis Greenberg, Joel Grossman, Robert Langley, Harvey Metzger, Hilda Nadelberg, Rochelle Nemoitin, Linda Pruskin, Jean Waters, and Raquel Welch. And also we mention the names of those the anniversary of whose departure occurs these days: Oscar Abrin, Maurice Bailey, Anna Bernstein, Aaron Binder, Samuel Brooks, Frank Butler, Manya Churston, Mark Sherston, Martin Cohen, Phil DeLeon, Louis Ellman, Charles P. Fairduns, Shirley Fine, Alfred Grosky, Fran Grossman, Miriam Herbst, Gertrude Hoffman, David Jacobs, Bertha Jandor, Fedora Jett, Richard Kahn, May Kesslin, Esther Kohlenberg, Ronald Mergler, Clara Migdal, Hai Osofsky, Max Pilch, Natalie Planskier, Belle Rose, Samuel Rose, Marvin Schenkup, Shira Shaman Pruskin, Helen Shapiro, Julia Sheskin, Pamela Siegel, Lawrence Sivak, Arthur Smith IV, Victor Taylor, Leah Weiner. Marks, any other names that people would like to mention? Yes. Yes.
Marlene Potter.
You have over here.
Oxting,
Thank- Thank you.
Thank you. And you know that if you have a name that you want to submit to Sharon before the Friday, we can put their name up on
She
the
will do that, and
screen.
we hope that all of the names that we've mentioned and others will be a blessing. Let us read the Kaddish. Yiskadal v'yiskadash Shemei Rabba, v'yomad yivrach rusei v'yamlich machusei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayedu chol beis Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba mivarach le'olam umei umaya, Yisborach v'yistabach v'yisboar v'yischomam v'yisnaseh, v'yisadar v'yisaleh v'yisalal Shemei d'kedusha b'rechu. Le'elah min kol b'rachasa b'shirasa, tish b'chasa v'nechamasa, da'amichon b'yama b'yimru amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shmaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael b'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael b'yimru amen.
Amen.
Well, we're going to now sing Naaseh Shalom, and please be seated. And I'll call up Sharon to make the announcements.
Oh, say shalom imroma, hu na'aseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, imru amen. Na'aseh shalom, na'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Na'aseh shalom, na'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Na'aseh shalom, na'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Na'aseh shalom, na'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael.
Sharon, come on up for the announcements, please.
Okay, I'll try to make this as quickly as I can. L'Dor Va-Dor welcomes everyone through our doors. And this Sunday, February 19th, the Ezekiel Men's Group will have their breakfast at 10:30 a.m. at the East End Cafe in Delray. And the women's group, the Women of Shekhinah, will have their luncheon at 1:30 on Sunday at China Lane in the Fountains of Boynton Beach. If you want to attend, please see me after the service. Thank you. On Monday, February 20th, we have our Parson to Parson with Rabbi Barry and Pastor Fritz Oftenkamp with hot topics and controversial issues. On Tuesday evening, February 21st, we have our Rational Torah study. Both of these, Monday and Tuesday, are on Zoom. You can watch from your home easily. And next Friday, February 24th at 5:15, we'll meet at Zimmy's for dinner if you care to join. And at 7:30 right here for Shabbat. And the following week, March 3rd, we're going to have Shabbat across America. It's going to start with a dinner in this room for our guests at 5:45. And it's a light dinner followed by our Shabbat and our Oneg Shabbat. If you want to attend that, there is a fee for the dinner. Please see me at the Oneg. And you can see us more on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Thank you for everything. Thank you to Rabbi Barry. Thank you to Cantor Carol. And thank you for Howard and for Ruth as our musical accompaniment. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
As a final benediction, I just want to share with you. There are many practitioners of Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and other religions who say, I believe in science. I accept the finding of science, except in this area. This part of my belief system, that's non-science. That's the part I take on faith. Science doesn't apply here. When you hear that, watch out, because now you're introducing irrational thinking into the realm of religion, and it's dangerous. all of our emotions, all of our religion can best be understood, practiced, and manifest through reason and rational thinking. Rational thinking doesn't deny emotion. Rational thinking enhances it, helps explain it, and helps send our emotions and our love into a direction that can help people and not hurt others and ourselves. Let us always give thanks for our rational mind. It's evolved over billions of years. It's a very useful tool, and it's a terrible thing to waste. Here at L'Dor Va-Dor, we cherish reason, and therefore we will champion rational thinking when it comes to abortion. And we have a hearing set for April 4 right now on our motion to take the deposition of DeSantis, and also on their motion to dismiss the major organizations that are pro-choice and Jewish and believe in separation of church and state have abandoned us. We are on our own against DeSantis in this fight. If you belong to any of these organizations, ask them to reconsider and support what we're doing. We will fight on, and we will give everything we have to make sure that the separation of church and state is prevailing, and that Jewish law will triumph over those who want to impose a religious tyranny upon the rest of us, an irrational tyranny at that. And with that, we will conclude this service, and now we're going to have the beginning of the festivities. I did mention that there's pizza in the back. Is there anybody who's going to heat that up?
No.
Bummer. Okay, nobody's going to heat that up? Okay. In that case, you can either eat cold pizza or take a souvenir, take a slice home, and heat it up when you get there. We're now going to sing the Motzi. This blessing over the pizza.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Now, Avenu Shalom Aleichem.
Avenu Shalom Aleichem. Avenu Shalom Aleichem. Avenu Shalom Aleichem. Avenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Avenu Shalom Aleichem. Avenu Shalom Aleichem. Avenu Shalom Aleichem. Avenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem.